In popular imagination, medieval Europe is often painted as a time when white Christians automatically saw black-skinned people as an inferior race. But the historical reality is more complicated and quite different from what came later. For most of the Middle Ages, the primary dividing line in European minds was religion, not skin color. Christians were in, regardless of appearance, while non-Christians, especially Muslims during the Crusades, were out. Black Africans were rarely encountered in Northern or Central Europe, so when they appeared in art, travel tales, or courts, they were usually seen as exotic curiosities rather than inherently inferior. Many educated Europeans knew about Christian kingdoms in Africa, like Ethiopia and Nubia, where dark-skinned people were fellow believers. These groups were often respected or even idealized, especially as potential allies against Islam. A black Christian could be viewed as morally superior to a white Muslim. That said, negative associations did exist. Blackness carried symbolic weight in Christian culture, linked to sin, death, the devil, or the exotic and monstrous edges of the known world. Some texts and images exaggerated African features to signal otherness or barbarism. Color prejudice wasn't absent, but these attitudes rarely translated into a belief that black people formed a permanently inferior race by birth. Systematic ideas of racial inferiority, claiming Africans were naturally suited for slavery due to biology or a curse, emerged later. They crystallized in the 15th, 18th centuries to justify the Atlantic slave trade, with Europeans twisting Bible stories like the Curse of Ham and reviving ancient hierarchies. So why did Europeans later consider black skin a marker of racial inferiority? Not because the Middle Ages handed them that idea ready-made, but because economic motives, colonial expansion, and new scientific theories built on older prejudices to create something far more rigid and dehumanizing. The medieval world had bias and symbolism around blackness, but the full ideology of racial hierarchy was a later invention.